Hey, sports card fans, it's John Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. I just got back from a great week-long vacation up in New Hampshire. If you've seen some of my videos, you may have seen me wear a t-shirt that says either New Hampshire or Lake Winnipesaukee or Wolfboro. Well, that's where I was with my family last week. I've been going up to the lake there off and on since I was about 4 or 5 years old. This is one of those vacations for me that is just nice and relaxing. There's not a lot of activity. We basically just hang out, spend some time on the dock, go into the lake for a swim, sometimes go in town. But it's just one of those recharge your batteries type of vacation that I just love, and that area up in New Hampshire is just absolutely beautiful. This year, there were 9 of us in total. Unfortunately, my son was not able to make it this year. We'll see if he's able to make it next year. Of course, he's graduated now from Penn State, so we'll see once he finds a job where that is and whether he can make it up with us for next year. But we stay in some cabins that are right on the lake. Literally, it's 100 feet from the cabins down to the dock. This year, the weather was beautiful. In fact, if anything, it was a little too hot. There have been years past where the temperature may only get into the upper 70s. Well, this year, every single day was in the 90s. A couple of days, the heat index was up to 100 degrees. The cabins that we stay in, they're pretty basic. Basically, you have there's no TV, no telephone, no microwave, but it's just a nice, again, relaxing. You can unplug from the world. The internet access is not that great, so it helps us sort of unplug from the rest of the world. The water temperature was just fantastic, just like the weather. Typically, you'll have the lake water be maybe 75 degrees. There were days where the water was up to 84 degrees. So in the heat, jumping into the lake and having a swim just felt so relaxing and refreshing. I managed to get in the water for a swim every single day there. That's always my goal, to be able to get in the lake, go for a little swim, play around with the family and stuff like that in the water. And I managed to do that every single day. Most evenings we went in town, often to get ice cream. That's one of our sort of family activities, to go in town and get some ice cream after supper. And I made 2 friends for the last few years. When we stayed at the cabin, we've noticed there's been some chipmunks, and so every year we bring up a jar of peanuts and we make friends. We call them Chippy. And this year there were 2 chipmunks, and we started laying out peanuts. And my goal every year is to try to get them to eat out of my hand. And I managed to have both of them eat out of my hand. And toward the end, I think it was on the Thursday or Friday, I sat on the steps of the cabin, and it was one after another. I bet you they ate out of my hand more than a dozen times. So that's always fun to just have those chipmunks come up on the steps to the cabin and eat peanuts out of my hand. All in all, it was just a great time. And I look forward to that vacation every year. The week always goes by so fast, but there you are. That's it. Enough of the vacation there, but it was just a great time. Happy to be back. Looking forward to the National. Speaking of the National, I think this coming Friday, I'm going to be posting a video with an update to my Vintage 100 Index. Now, if you're not familiar with the Vintage 100 Index that I put together, this started about 2 years ago, and it was from a video that Mike Baseball Collector did. He was taking a look at what some of the vintage card prices of some of the Hall of Fame rookie cards from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. I think whether they were like recession proof or whatever. And he was going over some pricing data and said, hey, it'd be really cool if someone did some data analysis. And so I took that on as a challenge, and up to this point, Mike Baseball Collector and I have done some periodic updates over the last 2 years. Well, I thought this would be a great opportunity right before the National to do another update on my Vintage 100 Index. Now, for this video, I'm not going to have Mike Baseball Collector on as my co-host. He's, again, doing a whole bunch of things and is really busy. So I invited Graig from MidLife Sports Cards. He's going to be my guest. I know Graig he's very analytical. He does his own card analysis and things like that. So I reached out to him and he said, sure, would love to be on. So I can't wait to hear his thoughts and analysis of the Vintage 100 Index. And in fact, if you missed I think it was the last update I did with Mike Baseball Collector, I've expanded that initial Vintage 100 Index and have created 3 other full indexes of cards from I call it the Golden Age, cards from the 40s and 50s. Then another index of 1960s cards and another index of cards from the 1970s. All of those other indexes include the cards from the main Vintage 100 Index, but I've added additional cards. So it gives a little bit larger picture, even though it is a rather simple sample size. But it gives an indication of where some of the key vintage card, the prices of those cards are going. And so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity right before the National to maybe give you some information to use and to work with as you're looking for vintage cards, maybe of some of these key rookie cards or Hall of Fame cards. So make sure, I think we're going to be recording that here pretty soon, but I think I'm going to publish the video on Friday, so make sure you check my channel for that video. So that should be good. And in the description of this video, in case, just to give you a little bit more in-depth information, I'll have a link to my original video from 2 years ago where I go over all the 100 cards, my methodology, talk about the index in general to give you a sense. So maybe you want to check that out before catching the video on Friday. So, and again, really looking forward to chatting with Graig. It'll be the first time I have him on my channel. And lastly, of course, the National is coming up in about a week from when this video here is going to be published. Really looking forward to it. I'm staying at the hotel where Mike Baseball Collector is. I'm not sure whether anyone else is staying in at that. I think it's the Cleveland Airport West, something like that. I for the RL Cleveland. I should have written it down. But anyway, if any of you are interested in where I'm staying, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. Hopefully we can hang out. It'll be interesting to see Cleveland this year. This will be my first time going to Cleveland. I don't know the logistics of everything. When it was in Chicago, so many people were staying right near the show that, going from one hotel to the next is just a couple blocks. I think there was more connections, more meeting ups, different things. With all the hotel space spread out, people are staying at some Airbnbs. Some, like myself, are staying in hotels, probably different hotels around the Cleveland area. Other than the YouTube get-together on Thursday night, which I will be attending, I don't know how often there'll be an opportunity outside the show to spend time with other collectors. So it'll be interesting to see how much time I get to spend with other YouTubers and collectors outside of the show. But during the show, hopefully I run into a lot of you and get to hang out, maybe check and see what cards you're looking for. Maybe you can hang out with me as I'm looking for some cards. So really looking forward to that. One of the things that I'm going to try this year, in the past, and I'm still going to bring a notepad to write down notes and maybe booth numbers or certain cards that I see that I may want to go after. I'm one of those like window shoppers. I like to see what's out there, what's available. I don't typically, once I see a card, just go after it and just the first example that I see. Because I know chances are the cards I'm going to be looking for, several tables are probably going to have those cards. So I want to try to find the best copy and price available out there. So chances are the first day is going to be more of like reconnaissance. See what tables, what inventory is out there, take some notes. And like I said, while I'm going to be taking my little notepad, this year, I think I'm going to try to print out the layout of the convention center on a large 11 by 17 piece of paper. And as I go by tables that I'm not interested in, maybe because they're modern or football or basketball heavily related, or memorabilia, just ones that don't fit what I'm specifically looking for. And as I pass them or go down certain rows, sort of cross off those booth tables. And if I find a certain table that I may want to come back to or have some interesting cards, I'll circle them, also put a note in my notepad of what the table number is. That way, as the show goes on in days, it may be easier for me to locate a specific table rather than say, okay, I know this is table 563. Okay, now where's 563, and trying to find that table. I don't know if that's going to help or not. I may find as I start doing it, it just becomes too much of a burden or hassle. But that's one of the things I'm going to try for this year and see how that works. Also, for the National, I got some new custom cards that I will be giving out, definitely at the YouTube get-together. But if you see me at the show, or I don't know, after the show, I probably won't have copies on me, but definitely at the YouTube get-together, and I'll have them in my backpack during the show if you bump into me. I think the minimum order was 100. I doubt I'm going to get rid of 100 of them, but I really like the image this year and the design that I did. I made it to look like a 1967 Topps card. So we'll see how you think it turned out. But I'll have those cards available to give away. Speaking of custom cards, as part of the Hobby Palooza that was 3 weeks ago now, I think, I was one of the early ones to donate for the signatures for soldiers. I think that was what this particular thing was, but I got a custom card from 4 collectors, and this is the one that is signed by all 4. So thanks, guys, for sending this to me. I think I got one from Theo that was signed just by him, but now I have it signed by this one here by Caesar, John, Sammy, and Theo as well. So again, thank you for sending this to me. Happy to donate to Signatures for Soldiers, great organization, and glad that Hobby Palooza was able to raise a quite substantial amount of money to give to them at the National. So I guess the last thing is I plan on doing daily update videos. So I'll have a day 1 recap, day 2 recap, and so on. Just maybe some video from the show, some tables, what all is there, any of my pickups that I do, and just overall comments about the day. Really looking forward to Sunday. I'll be meeting Wade Boggs again. I already have my autograph tickets, and I'm going to have him sign a photo of the two of us from last year, which was the 10th time that I got to meet Wade Boggs. So this will be the 11th time now. So really looking forward to seeing him again. And I think that's it. It's just I don't have any cards to show other than that one custom card, but just wanted to let you know about my vacation and about the upcoming Vintage 100 Index video this coming Friday. Make sure you check that out. And just some final comments heading into the National. I don't think I'm going to have any other National specific video before the National. I'm sure maybe you're, or some of you are probably tired of seeing videos about the National, but hope to see as many of you as possible there. I know it's going to be a great time. And with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.